HummingPod. Yeah, I always do say my whole name, but I guess it's just an intro, It's just me being me. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? So shout out to you for stopping through, coming through, saying what's up. I want to say hello to everybody who is new. Hello to everybody who's been rocking with me, and thank you, thank you so much. It means the world to me. It means everything to me. Your presence, your power, you're powerful. Exactly. And this is the Humming Podcast with your host. So today we're going to do something so special, as in we're going to give a movie review. We haven't done that in quite a while, if ever. So we're going to do a movie review on something that I recently watched. What movie would that be? Well, I'm gonna say the name, and then we'll talk about the movie. So the name that I watch of the person whose movie I watched is Jonathan Majors, a young man, black man out of the Dallas area, and he's made a big name for himself on the scene in many ways. He's recently had some controversy about how he was handling a relationship. He's recently been in relationship with one of the most popular women of my generation, even a little bit over my generation, like older, and he's still in that relationship, to my understanding. And the movie that he created was absolutely it was provoking. It provoked like you know a point of like confusion and like validity, and highlighted some key points in the faces of ambition and men and different things like that. And it was just so much involved, so much involved to the point where it was like, what is going on? Why was this movie made? And what are they really trying to say? And but my perspective is a little bit different. So we're gonna work this out. We're gonna jot down a couple points, and we're gonna talk about what really stuck with me in the movie, and what really just I couldn't go on without. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously. Let me send this text message real quick, and then we'll get right to it. So if you're tapped in through YouTube, if you tapped in through X, if you tapped in through Twitch, hey, shout out to you, and I appreciate you. So here's the thing: I don't have a list of like notes or something like that, but we're gonna chop this out as fast as we can and as efficiently as we can for the sake of I have many other things that I need to do. So let's keep this quick. So, magazine dreams. Basically, what I thought about this movie, I'm gonna give y'all my overall thought, my overall analysis of this movie, and then we'll break it down at some points too. I thought this movie was dumb. I thought it was stupid. and I thought it was vivid. And I thought it was just educational about certain points, and I thought it was just a I ain't gonna say a waste of time, but I thought it was just like a for some people it's valid, for others it is pointless because in certain instances it does the movie doesn't go deep enough to the point where we leave so much on the table that we don't understand what's really being said. Like I don't understand how this boy is, you know, I don't understand how this boy is like living with his grandpa, relying on him so much and in so many ways, but yet they don't have a real relationship and he's just never never getting something out of his head, voicing his opinions. He's just stuck on the same thing consistently to the point where his life is just amounted to now he's about to destroy his life. And this is the only point of his life we know. And we know he's lost his mom and dad, but other than that, I'm like, dude, you don't have a best friend. You don't have anybody like any sources of outreach to look at when it comes to like, okay, you lost your mom and dad, but they didn't give you no options. You don't have anything. You have this now. You have this therapist who seems to have just come in your life at the worst time in your life, and so you just get going already spiraling downhill. And she's like your toy to see you. She's just watching you spiral downhill as she voices over, like narrates the this happening to you. So it's so sad. And then we got the girlfriend that he thought he had, Jesse. It's like, dog, you completely just blew it. Start talking all about yourself and just blew it on the date. And then ordered so much food, and that's when you terribly spiraled into oblivion, eating terrible food, and you made her feel so bad. But it was like I saw Jesse as the representation of an empath. As soon as he said one thing that meant something to him, she internalized it into herself and made it seem like he basically punched her in the face, like by being himself. So I was like, dang, she couldn't even. She's like one of those people who can't even. She can't even allow him the space to be who he is without taking it as he's insulting her because of his own existence. That was pretty terrible to me because he's just existing and he can't stop the fact that he lost his parents. Only thing he could have done was change the way that he presented that instance that happened to him. But it did happen to him. So in that instance, what can he do? It affected him, right? But he asked her on the date. She took him up on it. She called him. He acted weird on the phone call, different stuff. Now, my take on it, and this is my take. After the point when he crashed that car into that other car, after he had busted up that paint shop, the whole movie became a dream to me. And I pointed that out to my sister when we was watching it. That whole point on became a dream. He at that point no longer did he have in his mind that not no longer did the director have or the writer believe that this was even possible of a situation that could happen because if you destroy a shop like that and if you crash a car in that situation you're going to jail, buddy. You're going to jail, and people, your life is not going to be walking, moving perfectly forward like that to where you can go spiral anymore. Your spiral has now ended, and you're in jail, buddy. It's over on that instance. So that's my take. After that point, the whole thing is just fake, and it's just all fictional. Nothing else at that point can even possibly happen at all. The only thing at that point is was for him to wake up in a cell and now realize like this is my life. I ruined it. It's just a dream at that point. That's my take on it. And seriously, But let's move towards his actual goals. What what really did he see? What was his idea of writing this guy over and over, and then when he finally meets him, idolizing him, worshiping him, and then he gets himself in a situation where now he got molested, not even molested. Now he got sexually abused to the point where got his mind used against him, and he gave up his body for this man who he idolized and worshiped for no reason. Now he feels like he got slutted out, for lack of a better term. But dude, you set yourself up for that, bro. You ain't supposed to be idolizing this guy. You're supposed to be normal to him. And I really thought in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, they gonna do a photo shoot together. They're gonna do a photo shoot. Things about to take off for him. This is about to be a big moment. But it didn't go there. The next scene we saw was inside of the trailer, and he's answering a phone call talking to his wife. And that was weird. And so I just thought that was pretty crazy that's where it ended up. Sending text message real quick. And so him by him writing and writing, continuing to keep this guy up to his journey, he said, Killiam, I got your letters. I got every one of them. And so this guy at that point uses his he uses what he gave him. So that was the situation on that. Now the 3 point three. Well, let's go about 3 or 4 points, however many we come up with. 1 point we'll do. We'll say Killiam was Killiam was lost. Killiam was lost, comma, but Killiam found a dream. Killiam was lost, but he found a dream. Killiam was lost, but Killiam found a dream. Simple as that. The reason why I say this is because the way that he was going with so much purpose, it's like, okay, now he's going for something, but dude, could that be the right thing? Think about it. Because your life in reality doesn't match your dream at all. So go ahead and go all in on your dream, but give up this old past life here. That's how it could seem. Killian was lost, but he found a dream. And when I say that, it resonates with me a little bit because it's like go all in on your dream, give up this past stuff. But it's like to be in reality, to be practical, it's like, well, I still have to support my family. I still have to take care of these people that I love, stuff like that. So those types of practical thinking, like thoughts, really, really matter, and we have to remember those things. We have to. So the dream he found was he wanted to be on that magazine cover so that everybody would know his name and not walk past him and say, "I don't know this guy." But he wanted people to say, "Oh, that's Killiam, Killiam Maddox. Oh, that's who we know him. You're on the magazine." They want him to come up to him and go like this. He wanted to do that. That's what he wanted to be. It's not working out, buddy. Sorry. You got to choose something different, dude. Like, it's not working out for that moment. It's not that that's not good for you because you can still be that. But in that moment, you got to do other stuff too. So you can't just focus in. I looked at it like he put all his eggs in one basket, and in desperation, those times when your eggs are all in one basket, you can't really go anywhere else because it's just one egg. So he just stuck. And so he had a dream. You get me? Point two, he liked someone who didn't like him. She only liked the idea of him. She only liked the idea that it was a potential in him. So she didn't know who he was yet, and he didn't explain it so that he couldn't get to past beyond the surface of what it all was. And so once he told her the one negative thing, it was like now it's like, what have I gotten myself into? Server, help me, please. This guy is insane. I don't know what I've gotten myself into talking to him. He's acting crazy. Killiam, I'm going to the bathroom. Uh, Server, please tell this man I'm never going to see him again. He is crazy, out his mind, about to act like I think he gonna kill me right now on the date in front of all y'all. He don't care. He ready to do something. I ain't never seen this type of passion, ambition, goals. I ain't never seen it. So she was scared, dog. She was a little bit like walking in the dark here, scared, dog. And Killiam ain't care about it at all. All he cared about was, okay, you came out with me. What is the issue? There's no problem. You came out with me, so you must love me. No, brother, she don't love you yet. She just met you. She just met you, dude. So she don't love you. She don't love you. But that's the point I'm making. It was very amazing how in the grocery store scene, whenever he left the grocery store, then came back in the grocery store, and then he was like, "Will you go out with me?" And then such and such, and then she was kind of like lost for words, and he said he apologizes for it and everything, and then he goes on the date, and then when he gets on the date, he tells her, on my off days I come into the grocery store and go shopping just so I can see you, and I thought that was really good. I hope that he will continue that conversation going, and that it would work, but it just didn't work because he wouldn't continue it on that. But he started talking about himself in certain ways, and the next you know, it spiraled out of control. And so, you know, that's point number two. Number three, number three. When he started being childish in the restaurant, when he saw that guy who jumped him, when he got jumped by those paint people, and he started being super childish. And then, well, a little bit before that, he walks over and he tells the little boy that the soda is bad for him and it'll make him fat. It put everything in perspective with me that he got into this dream and goal, and they started critiquing him very, very deeply, and to the point where it's like, I didn't know it came with this, but at the end of the day, I want what comes from it. And they start critiquing every little instance of his existence. And so he started trying to curate himself into every critiquing, and it would not work because he was not the guy on the picture. He was Killiam. He was himself. So he cannot be this perfect image of this guy he thought he knew. He can only be the perfect version of himself. If they can't accept it or see it, then he needs to do something unique for himself, and continue to be, show up. Continue to show up. He did a great job. They respected his being there, but that he didn't win. That's what he wanted to do, was be the number one, and that's the thing. You can't pick what they like. They like what they like, and so when he goes into the place where he shows up with the gun, scares the guy, makes him do all the dancing or do all the postures and different stuff, scares him, to death, and then he just leaves. That part right there was crazy. Now, if you're curious of his whole perspective, please chop in, tag in, or whatever you want to say. Message us at the Humming Podcast, and we'll get back to it and with the responses. But here, I don't know what that sound is. I'm trying to figure it out. So here we got Killiam and his hopes and dreams and trying to be perfected in this situation, but it just not happening. Well, let's move on to another point. Another point would be, I'm sorry, I was almost about to skip through the critiquing of the fact, and let's just get back on that. So when he was critiquing it, it described him in a way where he just didn't love himself. You know, he didn't like himself. He didn't like what himself was doing because of all the things that life was telling him was good and delicious. Couldn't do it. He had to be the little boy he was. Couldn't be that little boy. On top of him losing his parents too. So when he was being childish in a restaurant, it's just like express that little boy throwing food and acting a fool and looking crazy. He, you know, treating that guy like not mean, but just treating him just kind of like treat him like kind of like a kid, like like you see what I mean? Like kind of just picking, not really being mean to him though. It kind of seemed kind of crazy. It's like, I mean, he's mad at him, but he's like kind of not mad at him. He's just like he wants a friend so bad that he wouldn't even be mean to him. And that was like, dang, that's tough for him, you know. Like he want a friend so bad that he won't even be mean to the person who bullied him. But this guy has a whole family, and yet that's his lifestyle. So he, you know what I'm saying. So those types of mergers and what it was, it just kind of seeming kind of different. Okay, so so another point and the final point I'll make is so we'll keep this short and sweet. The addiction he had with the drugs and the way he was handling everything, we'll call that Killiam's problem. Well, Killiam's problem is that he wanted to be a grown man so bad, but he misplaced the idea of what it meant to be a grown man and what it meant to be a known man. Like he wanted to be grown, but he thought it meant what it meant to be known. Grown doesn't mean that you're known. It just means that now you behave different. And known means that it comes with a lot of stuff, and it showed in the behavior of that guy that he was kind of worshiping, because that guy was a grown man, but he was also a known man. And look what it did. Look what type of behaviors he was on. Terrible. And so he destroyed a person who was his biggest fan, his number one fan. Destroyed him. And with the addiction and all that stuff, him he just paired that up with his steroid usage, and that caused him to be erratic. It caused him to be overly emotional. It caused him to be almost insane in an instant. Even though he had a little bit of sanity at some points, it caused him to be insane, and it made me feel super bad for him because that was not his intention. Yet that was what he found, and so just be vigilant in those instances because I'm a Christian man and I definitely don't condone those behaviors at all that he was like portraying. So be different than that. Don't do what he's doing. If you have a goal, pursue it in in God's timing only, not in your own timing, because in our timing we fail every time. So yeah, that's my review on magazine dreams. I thought it was a dream. Simple as that.